My name is Monica Lursen, and I am this week's Butler County Spotlight. I was a farmer's daughter. I grew up in Marshall County. My mom and dad farmed with my grandfather. We had a cow-calf operation. In fact, my grandfather was honored for 50 years of buying cattle in northwest Nebraska and then taking them to the Chicago stockyards for 50 years. And so that's what we continue to do. And raise predominantly corn because we needed that for the cattle. My family are big Iowa Staters, so there was no place else to go but Iowa State, especially when I wanted to do dietetics. I had an aunt, my mom's sister, who was a dietitian in World War II, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps, and was planning on joining ROTC until I met my husband at a party. So I met my future husband at Iowa State University the beginning of my sophomore year, and we were married at the end of my junior year, and I continued to do schooling. He graduated 2 years ahead of me in animal science. Never did I plan on marrying a farmer, but that's, that's what it ended up. He more than willingly followed me to Indiana for me to do my dietetic internship. So we were out there for a couple of years doing that. My first job was with the Northern Indiana Dairy Council, traveling around teaching teachers how to teach nutrition while he worked for Producers Marketing, buying and selling feeder pigs for the Amish in Northern Indiana. We both loved it, until one day his dad called us and said, just to let you know, the house on the other place, which is where we are now, is empty. The renters have moved out. Just wondered, what your plans were for the future. So we both quit our jobs and we moved back here to Iowa. And so we've lived here on what we call the other place, as opposed to the home place, since 1974. We currently farm 1,400 acres. Most of it's owned, or at least owned at, and then we rent some from neighbors and some friends as well. So we just do grain now, corn and soybeans, and besides the car washes and the trucks, that's what our farming operation is. So I think we've, I should have looked that up, but I think we've been a Farm Bureau member ever since we came back and started farming. Largely because we love the spokesman and use it a lot for buying and selling, as well as reading what's going on. I think the lifestyle, I have a good friend who just retired from farming and they moved into town, and so the first thing I asked her was, well, how do you like living in town? Well, she says it's different, I'm getting used to the neighbors, but I said, well, I don't know that I could. I just love to walk out and be in the open air and do what I want to do when I want to do it. Well, I think going back to kind of one of the things that we said earlier, that if they have questions, they need to ask a person that can answer, and that can give them an answer. I have no reason to lie or to tell you anything just because I want you to think this certain way. I mean, I don't, and I think most commodity groups are the same way. I obviously have many professional friends who work in the various commodity groups, and we talk about that all the time, that people are so leery of a commodity group saying a certain thing because, well, of course they're going to say that because, they want you to buy beef. And it's like, no, we're in this profession and we're doing this job because we feel so strongly, about this, that we want to tell you, our side. We understand, that there may be other sides, but give us an opportunity. And so that's what I would say is communicate with each other, and ask questions. And if you feel that strongly, read more. Because I think the more the merrier. I think that it always helps when you have a united front, and that united front contains as many people as possible. The Farm Bureau is 100 years old with many more years to go.